You are watching Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look now at the leading top stories. First up, cabinet ministers and deputy ministers sworn in with some portfolios split while others are merged. And a new PR council for the city of Matlosana has been sworn in. In the business news, South African lawmakers revive spending bill under the new government. And in the sports news, Bafana have been eliminated from the COSAFA Cup. We begin here. President Cyril Ramaphosa has, with the new cabinet, merged some of the ministries with others split, like that of electricity and energy. Now there's a separate Ministry of Mineral and Petroleum Resources, electricity merged with energy, and the Ministry of Agriculture is now separated from the Ministry of Land and Rural Development. Not only that, too, but the Ministry of Higher Education is separated from Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovation. The Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Development has now been separated from the Ministry of Correctional Services. The president stated that there will no longer be a Ministry of Public Enterprises. The coordination of that will be located in the presidency during the process of implementing a new shareholder model. The deputy president, ministers and deputy ministers were sworn in as the members of the National Executive earlier today. Here's more.
Chief Justice, in terms of the powers vested in me by Section 91(2) of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, I have decided to appoint the following persons as ministers for the portfolios that have been allocated to them in terms of the signed President's Minute. Names are Ms. Matsiye Angelina Mutseha, Dr. Pakishe Aaron Maswaleni, Dr. Bongingosi Emmanuel Nzimande, Ms. Mamloku Trifosa Kubai, Mr. Gwede Samson Natashe, Ms. Stella Tembisa Dabeni, Ms. Barbara Dallas Creasy, Ms. Patricia DeVille, Mr. Ronald Ozi Lamula, Mr. Edward Senzo Kulu, Ms. Kumbuzo Nchabeni, Mr. Enoch Dodongwana, Ms. Sindisiwe Lydia Chikunga, Ms. Tembisile Pumelele Simelani, Mr. Kosienzu, Dr. Kosienzu David Ramaphosa, Ms. Malupini Lydia Ramaphosa, Mr. Elfas Mfakazeleli Utelezi, Mr. Dr. Dion Travers George, Dr. Petrus Johannes Grunewald, Ms. Siviwe Wahube, Mr. Belenkosini Tabisa, Mr. Dion McPherson, Ms. Pamela Castellina Matrodina, Mr. Moba Solomon Malazi, Mr. Gayton Kenzie, Ms. Nomakosazana Meth, Dr. Nobuhle Nkabane, Mr. Mzalele Nyonjo, Dr. Leon Amos Schneider, Dr. John Henry Steenhuisen. Did I say doctor?
You said doctor. You said honorable.
Mr. Mpo Pakstau, Ms. Nokuzola Gladys Tolashe. I may have missed a prefix in any one of those. If I did, by not mentioning either doctor whatever or Lingosi whatever, may I be forgiven. I now request the Chief Justice to either swear or affirm the ministers into office. Chief Justice.
In other news, Tebogeng was formally sworn in as the party representative, peer councillor, by the senior magistrate Marionette Kirsten at the Klerksdorp Magistrates Court that was presided over by the city of Matlosana's Speaker of Council, Stella Mondlane. Let's take a look.
I solemnly affirm that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa
and will obey, respect and uphold the Constitution
and will obey, uphold and respect the Constitution
and all other laws of the Republic,
and all other laws of the Republic,
and I solemnly promise to perform my functions as a member of the City of Matlosana Council
and I solemnly promise to perform my functions as a member of the City of Matlosana Council to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Sign. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councillor Tebogeng. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. And now you are a councillor.
Full force.
Yeah.
Now, Tebogeng represents the African National Congress, and the city has welcomed Tebogeng and expressed that he will play a pivotal role in accelerating service delivery for the people of Matlosana. In more news, police have arrested one person in connection with the kidnapping of a Portuguese businessman in Johannesburg. At least 12 businessmen and 6 students have been rescued by police in the past 6 months. In the latest incident, a 49-year-old man was recovered from a home in Snake Park, Soweto, where he was being held captive. A 39-year-old suspect, believed to be part of the kidnapping syndicate, was arrested in Turffontein in Johannesburg. Now, police say that 49 kidnappers who'd been demanding ransom payments from families of victims have been arrested in the Gauteng Northwest and the Free State. 21 vehicles used in the commission of these crimes have also been confiscated. 8 firearms have been seized. In continental news now, Sierra Leone has brought in a new law banning child marriage. Invited guests included the First Ladies of Cape Verde and Namibia as they watched as President Julius Maada Bio signed the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act into law. President Maada Bio's own young daughter stood by his side as he signed. Rights activists reacted favorably to the law, calling it a watershed moment. Anybody now involved in the marriage of a girl under the age of 18 will be jailed for at least 15 years or fined $4,000 or even both. Those who face punishment under the new rules includes the groom, the parents or guardians of the child bride, and even those who attended the wedding. Sierra Leone is a patriarchal society, and it's common for a father to give his daughter's hand in marriage forcibly. The Ministry of Health estimates that a third of girls are married off before they turn 18, accounting to the country's high number of maternal deaths, among the highest in the world. Still in the continental front, police have fired tear gas and water cannon at protesters across Kenya as demonstrations against a controversial finance bill continue, even after the president said that he would not sign it. Hundreds of protesters marched through Mombasa, Kenya's second largest city. Some carried palm fronds, blew on plastic horns, and even beat the drums, chanting, Ruto must go. The protests saw the most widespread unrest since dozens of protesters were killed in clashes about a week ago. They appear to signal that President William Ruto has failed to appease the youth-led protest movement despite abandoning plans to tax rises that triggers the unrest last month. Now, while Ruto withdrew his support for the bill a day after it was passed, the move has done little to stem the anger among the protest movement. Many protesters fear the president could still sign the legislation before it officially expires next week. Now, with that said, let's take a look at the business news. In the business news, South African lawmakers in the first vote since a new government was formed agreed to revive a bill allowing the National Treasury to release funds to ministries for the year through March 2025 to perform their duties. Lawmakers in the previous administration failed to complete the process to get the appropriation bill tabled by the Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana in February passed before the elections were held on May 29th. The African National Congress, which has ruled South Africa for 3 decades, lost its parliamentary majority for the first time in the elections. In that elections that forced it to form a coalition government with rivals including the Centrist, the Democratic Alliance and other smaller parties. South African law states that should the bill not be passed in its entirety, then government spending reverts back to the previous fiscal year. Now that it has been revived, a series of mini debates will be held for lawmakers to vote on each department's budget. Godongwana will speak at the National Treasury's budget debate on July 12th. And that's all from the business news. Up next, we get the latest in the sports. In soccer news, Bafana defeated Eswatini 1-0 at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium on Tuesday, but that was not enough to prevent their elimination from COSAFA Cup at the group stages. South Africa applied attacking pressure right from the kickoff and took the lead in the 3rd minute with Malebogo Modise's in-swinging corner kick headed home by Tabang Sibanyoni for a 1-0 advantage. Let's take a look.
Near post, there's the opener. Met beautifully on the near post, and in South Africa and opened the scoring with Tabang Sibanyoni.
That's what we were talking about, Sizwe, the importance of pressure.
Now, Eswatini began to settle in the game after the 20th minute mark and saw Sizolethu Shabalala drag a shot just wide. Then Ayanda Gadlala finished off a smart attacking move by rounding the keeper and finding the net, but his effort was ruled out by a controversial offside call.
Now, pull played in, and there's a chance. And, well, Eswatini. They were celebrating what was an equalizer. In the end, they would have had their hearts broken to see the flag down. Patient with they pulled up to a point where they were hoping to have found the breakthrough. Now,
meanwhile, Mozambique recorded a 3-1 victory over Botswana in the concurrent match, and here are the highlights.
Yeah, that happens. A look again at all the goals. First one being scored by the Botswana captain, Kopelang. And when that happened, we thought that Botswana was very much in control and in the driving seat. And then that cross, that delicious cross that you can't put a price on from Esteve Melo. And then the clumsy goalkeeping howler from James. And Mozambique profited from that. And then Esteve Melo stung the palms of James before teeing up and on-rushing. And super accurate Edmundo. So the day has ended. And this match has ended. It's Mozambique with a 3-1 victory.
The victory for Mozambique meant that they topped the standings in Group A with 5 points, ranked ahead of South Africa on goal difference, as their head-to-head was a 1-1 draw last week. In tragic news now, South Africa's former world champion high jumper Jock Freitag has been found dead after going missing. This according to reports that Freitag's body was discovered in a veld in Pretoria West on Monday afternoon and seems like he had been shot. He had earlier been picked up in the middle of the night by a man at his mother's house in Bronkhorstspruit and was never seen again. Now, Freitag had a promising athlete career and is currently one of the only 10 athletes to win world championship at the youth, junior and senior level. He was also a member of the Team South Africa at the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. And that's where we're going to have to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.